to the next level and be immediately dominant. And when that doesn't happen, then people come back and say, oh, she was a bust, she was a flop.
I've got to wonder, twice the attendance, I think she could draw twice the attendance. I really do.
And picture this. A rookie steps onto the court and starts breaking records left and right. The fans are going wild, but not everyone's cheering. One of the game's greatest players is in the stands shaking her head. This isn't fiction. It's the real-life drama unfolding between Caitlin Clark and Sheryl Swoopes, and now ESPN is calling it out. After hearing the rumors and seeing the highlights, are you prepared to witness Caitlin Clark in all her glory? We are not talking about any ordinary rookie here. Rather, we are discussing a basketball phenomenon that is changing the game forever. Those days when Clark was destroying college basketball teams come to mind. Well, she's gone professional with that same intensity and fire. We knew we were seeing something extraordinary the second she set foot on a WNBA court. No one, not even Clark's most ardent admirers, could have foreseen how swiftly she would become famous. In her rookie year, Clark did more than break records. She shattered them. She made WNBA history by recording the first ever triple-double by a rookie. Just think about that for a while. A rookie entered a league full of elite athletes and seasoned veterans, and they accomplished something no one had ever done before. Clark, however, was not finished yet. Great players, they say, improve the lives of those around them. That was Clark's idea, and she ran with it. The WNBA record for most assists in a game was broken by her. Yes, she set a new record for assists in a single game, surpassing all players in league history. Just try to picture yourself on the court alongside her. The ball is at your fingertips the second you find an opening. However, the truly remarkable part comes at this point. Clark had a whole lot of great games. She maintained an outstanding level of performance all season long. It was her rookie season when she set a new record for most consecutive point assist double-doubles. What this means is that Clark was consistently putting up numbers that would have made most players green with envy. Also, you should probably settle down for this if you're a fan of Indiana Fever. In addition to shattering league records, Clark rewrote the Fever's own record books. She accomplished 7 separate franchise records in a single season, a total of 7. What we're witnessing here is one of the finest seasons in franchise history, not merely an outstanding rookie campaign. Sure, she's putting up great numbers, but what's her actual impact on the game, you might be asking. Allow me to inform you, it's enormous. There has never been a player like Clark. By doing so, she is helping her entire team, not just herself, score more points. When asked about Clark's influence, Coach Christie's side said it best. Her playmaking has significantly improved the team's dynamics. What is the practical significance of that? When Clark is on the court, the performance of every player improves. Defensive players are left bewildered by the plays she makes, as she opens up the floor and creates opportunities. Everyone has heard about Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. Now it's your turn to hear from her harshest critic. Now we have Sheryl Swoopes, a basketball legend in the women's game. A 3-time WNBA champion, this player was a dominant force on the court and an integral part of the league's rise to prominence. Swoopes is more than just a retired basketball player. She represents the elder generation and safeguards the game's rich history. Things start to heat up now, though. The basketball world is going wild over some remarks Swoopes made about Caitlin Clark not long ago. Is everyone prepared to do this? According to Swoopes, she shoots like 60 shots a game. Do you think it's real? That's an outright assault on Clark's playing style, not merely criticism. However, Swoopes continued. Angel Reese is another female basketball star on the rise, and she went on to say that Clark is similar to her. Oh, and the best part, the WNBA is a better fit for Reese's game. According to Swoopes, I know what you're thinking. What the hey? It's only the opinion of one player, isn't it? That is incorrect. It's easy to see why Swoopes' remarks have sparked such a storm. To begin with, they are simply incorrect. Clark isn't even close to taking 60 shots per game. Swoopes seems to be observing an entirely different player. When you consider Clark's shooting percentage, assist total, and overall game impact, it's hard to understand Swoopes' point of view. You may be asking, has Swoopes always been so critical of Clark? Before this, presenting the twist, then Swoopes has previously issued an apology for her comments regarding Clark.
So I don't have any hard feelings towards Caitlin. My thing is, when you put these expectations Just let them do what they're doing and let them become stars in the WNBA.
It was her own admission that her earlier comments had been uninformed. That ought to be the last of it, wouldn't you agree? Nope. Swoopes is right back where she was, doubting Clark's wnba prospects. Is this all there is to it? Is there more going on here than just basketball? Put it in your mind. This matchup pits a female basketball icon who was instrumental in the development of the sport against a rising star who is changing the face of the game. Is the goal of preserving the game's history or embracing change at heart here? And now for something else to think about. In light of this, where does women's basketball stand? On the one hand, we have players like Clark who inject fresh life and enthusiasm into the game, drawing in more spectators and media.
I mean, let's be real. What is the over-under if Caitlin Clark is there? 25,000? I've got to wonder. Twice the attendance? I think she could draw twice the attendance. I really do.
And yet prominent figures like Swoopes appear to be fighting back against this emerging trend. Does the sport benefit from this dispute, or is it suffering as a result? And now let's dissect it even more. The topic of Clark's shooting is just one of many in Swoopes' remarks. They cover her whole strategy for the match. By drawing a negative comparison between Clark and Reese, Swoopes is expressing her opinion on what constitutes good basketball. But hear me out. Clark isn't merely tallying up statistics. The rules of the game are being altered by her. Her example is motivating a whole new crop of athletes. But it's appropriate to praise or condemn that. So you've heard the naysayers. Now witness Caitlin Clark's performance in a game. Proving people wrong isn't the only goal here. Changing the game is the ultimate goal. Are you aware of the way defenders are handling Clark? It's as if they harbor a deep-seated animosity towards her. This is the kind of brutally aggressive defense that would inspire pride in an NFL linebacker. And here's the worst part. The officials aren't deciding. It's as if they're completely oblivious to Clark. Surely her coach is speaking up about this, you may be thinking. Doubtlessly she is. The officials have been publicly criticized by Clark's coach, Christy Sides. Equally unflinching is her language. According to Sides, Clark is being unfairly targeted. What would it be like, a first-year player who is so impressive that the referees must ignore him in order to give the other side a shot? However, Clark truly excels in this area. Is this harsh treatment causing her to slow down? Absolutely not. She seems to be getting even more motivated to play her best because of it. Do you recall the encounter with the Mystics? Clark was a trailblazer. She did more than play well. She made history with teammate Aaliyah Boston by recording 20 points and a double-double in the same game, an unprecedented feat in Indiana Fever history. What an exemplary team. And just wait until you hear this before you think that was incredible. In this game, Clark set a new record for assists in WNBA history. Not even coming close to breaking the previous record is in the cards. With her 19 assists, she shattered Courtney Vandersloot's previous record of 18. Where would you stand if you were the target of those passes? It's as if Clark possesses extrasensory perception. The rivalry between Clark and Reese can be discussed now. They are truly inspiring one another to greater heights. This is not merely media hype. Angel Reese is making history of her own as Clark shatters assist records. She recently broke the league record for most consecutive double-doubles in a season with 10. Everyone benefits from that type of competition. However, the most intriguing aspect of this rivalry is this: the focus should not be solely on personal accomplishments. This is a game that pits two distinct ways of playing against each other. Clark, smack dab in the center of it all, is revolutionizing our perception of basketball. Did you notice how some athletes crack under intense scrutiny? Clark is not the one. She tends to play better as the crowd gets louder. With each critique, we gain momentum
to the next level and be immediately dominant. And when that doesn't happen, then people come back and say, oh, she was a bust, she was a flop.
Any skeptic can be turned into an inspiration. Additionally, each game is an opportunity to leave a lasting impression. They say deeds speak louder than words, right? Caitlin Clark's game is exploding at the moment. I bet you forgot about those pessimists who said the WNBA wasn't her game. They're literally choking on their own words, not to mention eating them. Let's discuss how Clark's opinions are shifting at a rate that matches her court direction changes. These players have been around for a long time and have seen it all, but they're still watching Clark as if it were their first time watching basketball. Her performance is enhancing the game as a whole, not simply her statistics. Sure, she's good, but is she really changing anything? You might be asking yourself. She is, without a doubt. Changing the game for women's basketball is more than just playing the game, it's a revolution. She has such a distinctive and exciting playing style that even her detractors are beginning to see the light in that. However, things start to get intriguing at this point. Clark has won over more than just the players and coaches. She has won over the fans as well. Plus, not a random fan. What we're talking about here is individuals who have never watched a WNBA game before getting on the bandwagon to find out why everyone is so excited. Meanwhile, did you hear? As of now, they're still here. You may be asking, how significant is the role of a single player? Listen up, it's massive. Clark is largely responsible for the WNBA's recent surge in viewership. Not only are her games being watched, but the entire league. Fans are getting hooked on women's basketball, and it's all thanks to Clark. However, statistics alone are insufficient. The conversation surrounding women's basketball is evolving due to Clark. It's becoming must-see TV because of her. Some sportscasters who previously barely mentioned the WNBA now devote entire segments to dissecting Clark's most recent game. We are referring to that kind of influence, and you know what? This isn't a passing fad. Clark has staying power. She's laying the groundwork to become an enduring fixture in the league.